What's up, guys? It's me, your girl, Maddie's son. Today we are going to be pairing Genshin Impact Partners with their partner Pokemon, and I'm really excited. These are all my opinions. It's all very subjective. A lot of it is based on aesthetic and color palettes and elements. So like, for example, a Cryo character will likely have an ice-type Pokemon partner. So that's kind of how this was working in my head. And some of them I just felt it, you know? And some of them I'm not totally satisfied with, but I wanted to put something down. So I want to hear your guys' opinions as well about, you know, the different characters. It's Genshin characters with their partner Pokemon. This is going in alphabetical order, and we will have some characters at the end who are going to be playable in the future, or ones that we really want to be playable, or just like notable characters from the series. First on the list is Albedo, okay? It is Albedo, and I have paired as his partner none other than Sandslash. I feel like they're a very good team. I feel like Albedo is a Geo element, and I feel like him and Sandslash would vibe really well together. I feel like they would be good friends. Sandslash is an intellectual. I can just picture like Albedo in a little like underground archaeology kind of site, digging with Sandslash. He's like reading some books, or maybe they're painting, something like that. Next up is Aloy, who I have put with Skarmory. Skarmory is a steel type Pokemon. It's got like the big metal vibe, and Aloy is constantly going after metal like animals in Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West, or she's overriding them and working with them together. Next up is Amber and Scorbunny. I think that they're adorable. They both have the bunny theme, and they're both pyro/fire types, so I feel like this is a really just solid pairing. I think that even their color palettes go really well together, and their energies match each other. They're both very excited, so I feel like this is a very good matched pair. All right, next one. I love this one. It's Arataki Ito and Pancham, a dynamic duo. These two just speak to me because look at their faces. Like, look at Ito's like face and pose, and Pancham's, their legs are even like posed the same. Like they both can just stomp the ground. Like, I just see these two together and I like it. This is probably one of my favorite duos in here. And also like Pancham, when he evolves into, I think it's called Pangoro, I can like totally see that too. Like, then they're both mature like big bosses. Pancham would absolutely be in a gang. Next up is Barbara. Barbara I put with Goldeen. Goldeen. This is another one that I just think matches really well. They both have this very flowy like feel to them. Both kind of frilly, both water. So it just seems really like good. The frills in the Goldeen's like fins and the frills in Barbara's outfit, like I just felt like it matched really well and they complement each other. Next up is Beidou and Seviper, and I thought that these two are also really good. Their color palettes match perfectly. The reds with the dark shades and the purples and the yellows or golds, like they look really good together. Even though like Beidou is electro and Seviper is a poison type, like I don't know, I can just see them really getting along. This is one that I didn't have her with Seviper at first, but like the more that I thought about it, I was like this pairing. All right, the next one is very obvious in my opinion. It's Bennett and Growlithe. Benny Boy is a golden retriever. His personality is so happy-go-lucky and so positive and just like a good boy. And Growlithe is also a good boy, and they're also both fire types. So this one is like very obviously like yes. I think that we could all agree to this one. This next one, I did Chongyun with Cubchoo, and I also thought that this was very, very cute. They also match perfectly the shades of blue. Honestly, a lot of this is color matching. The blues match. Cubchoo is very cute and innocent, and I feel like Chongyun is very like cool and hip-hop and edgy, and in that way I feel like Chongyun would be a really good trainer for Cubchoo and would make Cubchoo more brave. I just feel like they would really complement each other well. Like, tell me you can't see these two hanging out. Diluc, I put with Talonflame. This is another one that I feel like is very strong. This is a strong match. Talonflame is a fire type and a flying type. And I think that Diluc has like, I don't know a lot about Diluc, honestly, because I don't have him. I've never like got him in a 50-50, but I think he has like some sort of connection to birds, and they just vibe. I can see him with Moltres or Ho-Oh, but Talonflame is super interesting. Here's the thing, I tried to avoid legendaries as much as I could. There are some characters that do have legendaries, but it was like, I felt so strongly about them having those legendaries that like, it overrode my desire for it to be genuine. Like, he could genuinely have a Talonflame. They're not like super rare. You can get like a Talonflame pretty easily in the game. But like, you can't just get a Ho-Oh easily. And so I feel like Diluc like would need a regular Pokemon. It's not like he's an Archon or anything, you know? Aw, this one I put Diona with Skitty. Look at them and tell me this isn't the most perfect pairing. She is literally part cat. She has cat paws all over. Like, this is the perfect uwu match. They're both pink. I just, there's no one that can argue this one with me. This one just makes perfect sense to me. Okay, Eula is one that I decided to put with a legendary Pokemon. I was a little worried at first, but I felt like ultimately Eula needed a Suicune because Eula is vengeance, right? Eula is very, very, very strong. She uses a big claymore. She's a very, like, just powerful human, and I felt like she needed a Pokemon like Suicune to match that. I put Fischl with Crobat. Fischl, I felt like needed a flying type because she has her Raven, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of bird types that matched her vibe. Crobat is still a flying type, but it's also poison type, and their colors match. Crobat's like also kind of emo. They just really, I feel like would get along well. They seem like good friends. Ganyu, I put with Go-Go, okay? And I don't want to hear any hate. I know that everyone like goes nuts for Ganyu, and I do too. I love Ganyu. She's one of my favorite characters to play. I love her. But Ganyu is ultimately the Coco Goat, okay? Ganyu is Coco Goat. She's sweet. She's modest too. She's not like someone who I think would have a big legendary Pokemon. Like, this just feels right for her. They both have horns. Next up is Goru. Goru I put with Rockruff. This one I feel like is also very on the nose. Rockruff is a rock type dog Pokemon, and Goru is a dog, essentially. He's got paw prints everywhere. He wears a collar. He has dog ears. It just makes a lot of sense. So I think that these two match really well in terms of type and aesthetic. So I like these two a lot together. Next up is Hu Tao, and I put Hu Tao with Duskull. I think that a lot of people would be like, oh, Ghastly, put her with Ghastly. And sure, I could, but I feel like Duskull's vibe matches her better. And they both have like the red eyes, which I think goes well together. Or I guess singular eye, maybe. Does it have one or two? Are we counting sockets or glowing orb inside? Who knows? But we obviously needed a ghost type for Hu Tao. That was very evident, and so I felt like these two would go really well together. This makes sense? Perfect. You know, I say my reasoning and then I read your guys' validation and just like, whew, passed. That one worked. Next, I did Jean and Pidgeot, okay? Someone had mentioned Pidgey earlier. I felt like Pidgeot was very regal. It's an OG bird. It's an OG bird. I feel like Jean is very, like, by the books, needs a strict leader-like Pokemon. Pidgeot screams leader. You know, she's an Anemo type, so that's, like, very wind-based. Pidgeot is a flying type. So their type pairings work well together. I just think that this is an aesthetically pleasing match. We have Kadehara, Kazuha, and Rowlet. You guys know that Kazuha is one of my faves, and Kazuha is a very wise and carefree and simple man. You know, we love Kazuha, and I feel like Rowlet is really, really good with that matching. I feel like Rowlet is also very cute and carefree, and I can see Rowlet's like final evolution too looking really, really cool with Kazuha. So I just like these two together. I think they're a good match. Next up is Kaya and Sneasel. I feel like Kaya is so sassy that Kaya needs someone just as sassy as him. And so I chose Sneasel. They also match in color palette, like literally look at their hair, that's insane. And they're both ice type, so I feel like this is a match made in heaven. Next up I did Kamisato Ayaka and Glaceon. I feel like if you walked into the Kamisato residence and you saw Glaceon sitting on a beautiful pillow next to Ayaka, you would not question it. This is a very, I think, just perfect match in my opinion. I had Kamisato Ayato and Milotic, who I feel like is also a perfect match for Ayato. Ayato is, in my opinion, the most elegant character in the game. Even more so than Ayaka. He just is perfect, okay? He's a leader, he is graceful. I mean, he's a water type, Milotic's a water type. This is just a really solid match in my opinion. Like, this one is also chef's kiss. Kaching, I put with Jolteon, okay? And I would like to hear your guys' opinion on this one because I'm not totally sold on it. I was considering maybe like Noivern, I think is the name, like the bat-looking one. Or maybe like a Nidoran male. But I decided to go with Jolteon because I feel like they both have similar attack styles. Jolteon's very fast. They're both like electro/electric. I feel like their movements are similar. The only thing that I don't like is that their colors are so starkly different. But I want to know if you guys feel like this is a good pair, or who you would put Kaching with. We have Klee and Teddiursa. Teddiursa is so cute, guys. Teddiursa is just the cutest little thing. And Klee loves cute little things. She's got Dodoko, and I feel like Teddiursa gives me Dodoko vibes. I also just feel like they're both very round and squishy, and so you just want to hug both of them. Imagine a group hug with Klee and Teddiursa. You would die. You would just die. And also, I feel like when Teddiursa evolves into Ursaring, it would just be hilarious. Like big Ursaring, like, you mess with my girl, I'll mess you up. So I think that they would be really cute. Next, I did Kujosara and Corviknight. Okay, so Kujosara is with Corviknight. Kujosara is an enforcer. She's very strict, she's hardcore, very like, you know, steel element, honestly. And I feel like Corviknight is like also just like BA, an enforcer. And she's got like her wings too, those big black wings on her. And so she needs something with black wings. I don't know, they vibe. And they both have similar like beak masks. You know that this is a perfect pairing. You know this is a perfect pairing. Next, I did Lisa and Hatterene. These two look identical. They look identical. They both have witch hats. And this is a psychic type. Lisa is electro, but I felt like, you know, it's similar. I feel like Lisa and Hatterene would both just love chilling in a library, enjoying their lives, like being lazy, doing nothing, like just chilling and reading some books. I really like these two. Okay, next, I put Mona with Starmie. Starmie and Mona have very similar color palettes, both hydro/water type. Literally has stars all over her. Starmie is a star. I could absolutely see them battling alongside each other. This one, I had a really hard time with. I put Ningguang with Diancie, who I believe is a newer legendary Pokemon. I feel like this is good because, you know, Ningguang is a Geo type and Diancie has literal rocks and gems all over her. It's like the Jade Palace, you know. They're both very elegant. I actually considered putting Ningguang with Gardevoir. That was my original pairing, and I just felt like for some reason when I looked at them together, I could see them being friends, but like I couldn't see them being real partners working together. This one just seemed like more realistic in my mind and like a better fit. And I look at them and they look better together in my opinion. Okay, next up is Noelle and Shieldon. I feel like these two are so cute. Noelle is cute, Shieldon's cute. They both protect. They're both shields. I just really like this pairing. They're both ground types or Geo. It's really good. Actually, I think Shieldon might be steel, but it's got similar color palettes. I mean, this is an aesthetically pleasing pair. All right, next I did Chi-Chi and Litwick. I really like these two because Litwick is a ghost type Pokemon and Chi-Chi is essentially a zombie. And so they both have some kind of spooky elements. Their colors go really well together. They're both very cute and chibi. I just feel like these guys, they'd be co-workers. They'd work together, they'd be friends, they're cute. I really like this one together. Oh yay, I'm glad you guys agree. Next, I did Raiden Shogun with Raikou. This is one that I was like, I don't know. I thought that it could also have gone with Zekrom, but I thought that Raikou would be cooler. I just feel like they go well together. Even if the colors don't totally match, both electro types, I feel like Raikou's very like strong and it's a legendary. And Raiden, I feel like as an Archon needs a legendary. And so I felt like they would be a good match. And can you imagine seeing Raiden like literally riding on a Raikou? Their names even sound a little similar. Right. Next up, I did Razor and Mightyena. I felt like Razor needed a wolf-like Pokemon for very obvious reasons. He is Wolf Boy. And I like Mightyena. I felt like Mightyena was more appropriate than Poochyena, who's its pre-evolution. They're both gray. They look similar. Yeah, very similar vibes. They could go hunting together. Be great fun. Next I did Rosaria and Dugong. This was one that I was also a little torn on. I felt like, you know, Rosaria needed an ice type Pokemon. Dugong is honestly pretty elegant and chill and cool, but it's not like in your face, which is like similar to Rosaria. They're both a little more withdrawn, I feel like. I don't know, I just like them together. I'd be interested in hearing who you guys would put Rosaria with, though. We have Sangonomiya Kokomi with Primarina, and this was one that I also thought was very good because they're both mermaids, essentially. They're both mermaid-like little people, and you know that they'd get along well. Very similar energies. Yeah, this one's very obvious in my opinion. Both water types. So, Primarina and Kokomi. Next, I did Sayu and Sentret. This one I was also very hesitant on, but ultimately I felt like their energies were similar. They look too much alike. They both have this long tail-like cloth, long tail, ears, you know. These two are the same. Their personalities, I don't know if they're the same, but visually this one really works. I considered putting her with Munchlax. That was who I originally had her with, but I was like, ugh, it just doesn't work as well as Sentret. All right, Shenhe and Frostlass. Some of you guys predicted this one and you were spot on. Frostlass is ice and ghost, and I feel like Shenhe very much has a ghosty, spooky element to her too. I feel like they would be a really good kinship. So I like this one a lot. Even their eyes have similar vibes to them. I don't know. Next, I did Sucrose with Masquerain. Maybe some of you guys forgot Masquerain. Masquerain is this cute little like moth-like Pokemon from the Hoenn region. And I felt like Sucrose with an Anemo type and just being like kind of like shy and meek and the little glasses kind of nerdy, I felt like she just would go well with a bug type. And also when Sucrose does like, I think it's her E or her ult, I don't use her so I don't remember. It kind of looks like crystal flies go up in the air. So I wanted something that almost resembled a crystal fly. Next, I did Tartaglia, aka Child, with Gyarados. And this one I was a little hesitant on, but I felt like Gyarados made sense because even though like Child, like Tartaglia seems very innocent and like, oh, I wouldn't hurt a fly, here's some cash, like, you know, helping you guys out. He's actually evil, you know, he's actually very dangerous and rawr, and I felt like Gyarados matches that vibe very well. Next up, I did Toma and Darumaka. This one took me a little while too. I was like, who should go with Toma? Who's Toma's Pokemon? And I originally thought maybe Yamper, But I feel like Darumaka is very like fun and happy and eager to please and just a good Pokemon, and I feel like that energy matches Toma really well. And look at that. Look at his horns. Look at his horns. Look at the colors. Like, aesthetically, these two look great together. And like, Darumaka could have fun in the shop and like hanging with the Kamisato siblings. Like, they're a nice, understated, you know, pair. I really like it. Next, I have both of the Travelers. So Traveler, I put with Pikachu. Wow. So, I put Pikachu because Pikachu is the icon of Pokemon, right? Pikachu is Pokemon. When you look at the Pokemon Company logo, it's Pikachu. Pikachu is the face and the first Pokemon that Ash ever gets. Pikachu is a huge staple of Pokemon, and the Traveler is the default character. You get to play as the Traveler when you initially come in. Traveler is who does all the main story stuff. It always switches to Traveler, you know, and so I feel like Pikachu being with Traveler works really, really well and makes a lot of sense. Next, I put Venti with Shaman. Venti is an Animo character, and so I felt like a wind or flying type is good. Little Shaman doesn't match. Now, final form Shaman, second form Shaman that can fly, very, very good. So I'm thinking more of these two together. Not as much this little guy, but these two. And I feel like the determination in his eyes says it all. And also, Shaman is technically a legendary Pokemon, and Venti is an Archon, and so I feel like they're both legendary in a sense, and so they would be a really good fit. Next, I did Zhongling and Cyndaquil, and this was one that I think is good, but I wish that like Golba had a very similar Pokemon form, maybe Teddiursa, but I felt like it needed to be a fire type. And Cyndaquil is round and cute, and like, you know, the Fireon's back could help with cooking. And so I was just like, Cyndaquil seems like a really good match for Zhongling. I don't know if it's perfect, but I think it's pretty darn good. Next, I did Zhao and Dragapult. This was one that I had to think hard on, but I think is perfect. I really wanted Zhao to be with a dragon type because Zhao is very like hardcore, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put into words the vibe that Zhao gives off, but it's like a vibe that you do not want to mess with him. So I felt like putting him with a Pokemon like Dragapult would be very, very good. And same color palette. Like the green, blue, like colors match perfect. It's got the same reds in it. Like visually a very nice pairing. When I figured this one out, I was like, yes, that's it. This is it. Next, I did Xingqiu and Buizel. I really like this one. I had a hard time with Xingqiu too. I was like, who's a Pokemon who loves to read? And Buizel doesn't love to read necessarily, but Buizel is a very loyal Pokemon, very positive, and I feel like it's got the same kind of spunk that Xingqiu has. So this one I feel like is a really good match too. I just can see them being really good friends. If Xingqiu were to send out a Pokemon, I would expect it to be Buizel. Next, I did Xinyan and Houndoom, and I wanted a fire type because they're both pyro/fire, and I feel like they look similar with all the like bones and the spikes, and I think this one is just fun. And also, like, Xinyan needed a Pokemon as hardcore as she is, and Houndoom is about as hardcore as it gets, so I feel like these two are both very like hardcore, like rocker type. It's a good match in my opinion. Okay, a lot of people predicted this one, and I put Yaimiko with Ninetales because Yaimiko is Raiden's like fox familiar, and Inazuma has a lot of foxes all around it, and I just felt like, you know, Ninetales is the legendary like nine-tailed fox essentially, and that's basically what Yaimiko is. And so these two, I felt like go really well together. They're both very elegant and graceful. Yaimiko is so well spoken and just like, you know, intimidating, and you just like, I don't know, she just stuns you into silence, and I feel like that's what Ninetales does too. Okay, next up, I did Yanfei with Pansear. I was debating between Chimchar and Pansear, and ultimately I felt like Pansear was the better choice because I feel like if you look at them in this picture, they look so similar, and they're both fire and pyro types, and they're both kind of aloof. And I know that like Yanfei is a lawyer, but she very much like gives me Panseer vibes, where they're just like kind of goofy in a way. I just really like these two together. Even their eyes like just look a little similar. They do. They are such a vibe. All right, next I did Yoimiya and Torchic. I will say, I think Yoimiya would also be really cool with either Vulpix, Ninetales, or even Ho-Oh. But I felt like Torchic was realistic and cute, and I feel like Torchic would like be 100% down for just like following Yoimiya to the ends of the earth. Like, Torchic is cute and loyal, and I just feel like they would be the best of friends. And Yoimiya is a down-to-earth kind of girl. She's like one of the people, and I feel like Torchic is very similar in that regard. I can just see them really working well together. And they kind of look alike too, like the little feathers sticking up is kind of like Yoimiya's hair sticking up. Next, I did Yunjin and Chatot, and this one I'm interested to hear what you guys think too, because I'm not like, oh, this is the best pair ever, but I wanted something kind of musical because Yunjin is an opera singer. And so Chatot is a Pokemon that literally has a music note for its head. So it's a Pokemon that obviously has a great appreciation of music and the arts. And I feel like too, like the colors in it, they don't match Yunjin's, but like they match an opera style with like bright, fancy colors, you know, the ruffles. It just seems like it would belong in an opera. And so I could see them being really good friends and sharing a lot in common. All right. We have Zhongli, the long-awaited Zhongli, and I put him with Steelix. I feel like Zhongli needs a very, like, dramatic, like, Pokemon that will stun you, just shock you. And I feel like Steelix is that type. Now, here's the thing. I don't see Zhongli being the type to, like, battle very much or even bring out his Pokemon very much, but I can see him being the type that when the time comes and he needs to battle, he sends out Steelix, and people are just like, oh, man, this guy is very strong. And I feel like that's very representative of Zhongli. I could see maybe Rayquaza with Zhongli. Rayquaza might be another good contender, but I think Steelix is like, you know, better with the ground element. I think it works. Now we have some honorable mentions. We have Kuki Shinobu and Krogunk. And Krogunk is a poison type, which I think kind of matches Kuki's vibe. And it like has like kind of those jab moves that are kind of ninja-like, and I think Toxicroak is supposed to kind of be ninja-like too. And I just feel like Kuki is someone who's not going to be like in your face, I need the best Pokemon ever. Like, she's going to have a Pokemon that's like understated but still strong and like works hard, and I feel like Krogunk is like a really good match for her. Next I have Yelan, and Yelan I put with Dragonair. They look the same, and they both have that same kind of elegance and grace. And even though we don't know Yelan very well yet, I think that these two have the same energy and the same kind of power behind them. They both have like the kind of white wings on the head, the white tufts on the jacket. It just is, it's a vibe. Next, this one we briefly talked about, and I chose Dainsliff and Lucario. We talked about this last stream, and I feel like Lucario and Dainsliff are one of the best matches in this game because Dainsliff is very mysterious but very strong, and Lucario has always been with trainers who are like that in the anime and in the game. Very mysterious, very strong. Lucario is very loyal to his trainer, and Dainsliff I feel like is doing some like, not shady stuff, but just very like secretive things that we can't know about necessarily. And Lucario would be like, hey, I support you, I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm in it to the end with you, my dude. I have La Signora and Volcarona, and this one I felt like, even though Signora will not be a playable character, I felt like this was so good. This Volcarona, she literally like becomes a moth basically, and that's like her whole thing. I mean, it's a phoenix moth. And last but not least, guys, we have Paimon and Jigglypuff. This one I thought was so cute. Paimon's really cute and chibi, Jigglypuff's really cute and chibi, and Paimon gets mad sometimes, right? Paimon can get mad, and she's very blunt, and she is very like pouty, and Jigglypuff is the exact same. Jigglypuff we've seen in the anime, will draw on people's faces when they don't listen to her sing. And that is something that Paimon would do 110%. Paimon would absolutely draw on people's faces if they didn't listen to her. So I really like these two together. They're even both pink. I mean, this is Paimon as a Pokemon. That's the end, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've included my socials and my YouTube if anyone is interested. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I like to put out Genshin content pretty regularly, so you'll get updates for when I do. We'll see you guys next time. That's it. That's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.